Oi, Manifest Nation, back again. Manifest with the white one today. But I saw this and I wonder if they'll let me use it as my little starting theme. I come in like a Rocky. What do you think, Clive Banks? What have I got to say, indeed? Oh, where do I start? But let's put it down there. I'd like to start with, well, I kind of started with the video yesterday, in fact, but I'd like to start with this whole coronavirus thing. The health behind it is a lot more holistic than you might think. You know, just living your life well and being feeling feeling others have use with you around. I mean, you could use the word worth. You know, what is your worth? What worth do you have in life? Like, what is your purpose? You know, all these things can be used, and it's like when you start thinking through these words, and isn't it Clive Banks? And yeah, for the older generation, it's like we appreciate you for what you've done, but it's like, well, you can actually explain to people what you've been through, the things you've learned, all this sort of thing. So it's like, well, just bounce. You got to bounce or bounce. You know, it's like you got to be happy. You got to be in the community. You got to share. You got to, like I said, we've got to break down the fences. I mean, the lady next door, she's got bad knees. Pretty much all she can do is like maybe go out once every so often, but she'll sit on the little deck outside, just looking outside. There's birds there, and you know it's fairly nice. My tree actually blocks the sun a little bit, so I could probably trim that for her. But the point is, if there was no fence, she could see further. And if there was no fence that side, no fence that side, she could have a not a 360, a 180 perspective of everyone's thing. And if you had all, because I've got loads of fruit, there's loads of fruit in my garden, but and she's got stuff, and they've got like big patches. You know, they've got kids over the end, and it's like, well, I think they'd get more use out of my garden. Whereas there's part like they've got a bit more of a garage over this way, so it's like, well, I probably use a bit more of that area. And it's like, well, by interacting with that person in that area, I learn from him, he learns from me, and this is the way a community works. This is the way it should work, but we're kind of pigeonholed to walking down the streets, and we're pigeonholed into the back room where our TV is and our garden is, which is whatever. But in this time when we're actually locked away, we need to actually express to each other our emotions, how we feel, and feel connected, feel a worth in our life. I mean, when you have a spiritual awakening, it's because you the part of you that you held as you died in some way. It's like people live their whole life with ego, and you know, for people it might be their looks, for some people it might be their intelligence, whatever it is. At one point or another, if you hold it as like, oh, I'm special because like I have fluid movements and I can just speak. You know, it's as soon as you start, you see, as soon as you start thinking of something as not from you, it doesn't work quite right. What we are is channels for whatever our gift is. For us to see it as us producing that gift is not right. We need to accept that it comes from somewhere else as well. And as someone of my age, and I'm nearly 40, so I'm middle aged. I'm that kind of, well, I'm in the middle, but I know my parents, and I knew my grandparents. My grandparents are all passed away now, but the information, I can feel what they've learned. I feel that I know how to work a garden myself because of my grandparents. I have a knowing of how to do that. Same with my just working. Like I'm a real worker. It's just this way of being, and it's I've removed myself from that now because there is no work out there for an ethical person. And this is where the stand's got to come. We've all got to just say, look, no, no. And I mean, when these places just close, it's like, no, that's ours now. As far as I'm concerned, all the companies have made enough money out of this country. As far as I'm concerned, all these buildings, everything should just be public owned, not government, public. So as a community, I mean, I worked in I've worked in distribution and manufacturing production, and in all those areas I know it takes every single person within that network to do their job properly, or it doesn't work. Every single ingredient for this product has to be there for that product to be made, and these products are just not healthy. So it's come to a point where as a community we need to say, look, sorry, we know better. I mean, everyone that's at work, every worker watching this, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I know you've all looked at your boss or the company bosses and been like, what are you doing? Like, this is not right. But they do it anyway, and because they've taken away the voice of the people and the power of the people. They gave us unions, but the unions are not what we think they are. So it's like, well, what are we going to do? And the only thing we can do is actually just take responsibility ourselves. These companies are centrally controlled. They have no insight into what's happening locally. They can't make these decisions. And when it comes down to local farms around us, they should be minimising the amount of logistics involved in the production of their crop. So they're also going to have a problem with you know the livestock side of it as well. So they actually need to incorporate, make them less dense, and actually make them a bit more like, just let the farmers do it. Take away all the red tape, all that sort of thing, and just say, look, you know what you're doing, guys, and they can actually come to. And you see, the thing is, I'm out of work at the minute, and part of it's going to the job centre, part of it's looking for a role in the society, and I'm changing my actual role in society. So it's actually quite hard to approach the job market in a way that's attractive to them to hire you. I mean, what they're going to do with someone that's spiritually awakened? Like I've literally had to write two different CVs. One saying, I know everything you give me a job, I know exactly what I do, and I do it like I'm one of the best of the best. Or the other one saying, I really don't agree with ethical business, and I'll do anything to kind of get rid of them because they're not good for society at all. They're actually conspiring against us, and it's like all the big CEOs of all the big businesses virtually all hightailed it. Like they're all skedaddled away from their companies all like last month. And it's like, well, that's who was in control of our society. When I talk about worth, having worth, like doing what you want to do is one thing. Like my worth in society is doing this, providing this service, helping this person, doing that, doing this, whatever it is. But is what they're doing worthy? Because in other hands, people will be doing a far different thing to what they're doing. Totally different. So it's come down to a point where I don't trust them, and I prefer we grow our own food, and we need to do it as a community. And when you think about the virus and how it travels, being locked up inside is not going to keep you alive, it's actually going to kill you quicker. So it's like I said about the video, it's like this will probably be claimed because of this. Let's just put it on the background. It's low. But it's like this. All I want to do is get people dancing, because there is the heart and the whole endocrine system is your chakras. So you've got these bits all here, and they're all connected, and they're like this. So you have like this. You have vortexes coming out at different sizes, all dancing together. So your heart being what you connect through, you just dance with the rhythm. So your heart is three-dimensional. If you can imagine someone standing there, someone standing there, someone standing there, like this, you can dance with them. But you can grab this one and put him there, and then become that one, and you put him in the centre. So now I'm in my perception, I'm actually standing here on the edge. So the energy is a different energy there than it is here. So you drag to the centre more. So it's like the picture here would be a stronger, faster. So you'd be like this, but when you go out to the side, you go slower. And this is the, as you go, it opens it all up, you pull, you gulp in air. As you're doing these things, you suck it in. These motions are so healthy to the body. And to know that your chakras are not only, the heart is not only an organ, it's also an energy centre that's, and if you look at this, the outside is coming in, and you feel the outside of the energy vortex coming in slowly, but the inside is speeding up like this, and it'll always come out the other side in some way, whether it's the other hand or this hand or the body pushing out the heart. Everything's like it's elastic. It's just the way it works. Let's see. Let's have a look at, see if we've got a on my channel. Where's my channel? Let's have a look at a video. I don't want to have it too long. Let's just go. Let's just go for this one, because I like this one. But I haven't got many dancing videos left. But you can see there's this room is long, and I'm looking diagonally, but there's a wall at the back. These walls are coming in, so the perceptions are all going to a horizon. But if you were driving, let's say, there'd be a horizon here, and there'll be trees coming down like that. Okay, so you've got two angles, one like that, one like this, but the horizon comes up like that. Along the horizon, you've actually got two planes like that, which are the outside bushes and trees. And then on the distance, you've got two back things like that. So this is how perception works. So if I was to dance with things, they'd be hopping like this from side to side. But then they can swing to the inside, because as these are coming up, the planes get smaller and faster. So this, my centre here, from my centre here, from wherever I'm standing, looking at telly, I can go, and you're there. So right now, it goes to you, to me, to there, to there. So, see, I'm not concentrated on it in a minute. So for me, right now, I'm actually looking at Clyde Banks, who's just sitting there looking at me. Go figure. But yeah, exactly. This is the way it works. So the whole point of it is feeling your heart to move like in the moment. When you're doing this, it's your perceptions on that. It's not in the mind. When you're thinking, your whole mind is not needed. It's a tool that you use it's not really productive. Very, very seldom is it actually productive. In the moment when you're sharing one-to-one with someone, you come out with magical things that if you're thinking it, imagine if you can only have one light bulb moment of anything. The next time you have to have it in a different process. So you can only, once you've walked a path, you can never walk that exact same path again. You always have to do it a little bit differently. So if you're the sort of person that thinks over things in your mind, then you're narrowing the paths you can take when you actually do approach someone and to actually have the conversation. This is why the whole thing is oh I like this one. I didn't realise it'd go that way. I was surprised. But this video I actually done the only reason I've done it was to show the polarities of, and using blue and red, of like a positive and negative, and the way it always will flow. And the way I can balance easy. Like it's easy, but it's because you're centralised. The grounding is not any point, because it's like a helicopter. As you're spinning a rotor, you've got your flight, so you're just raised up. But then as you have your tail rotor, it gives you that stability. But then when you realise that you actually have two vortexes, so you can actually pull the heart to expand it out, and you can actually rotate these in counter directions. You can do them in the same direction. It doesn't matter, you know. And this is the way it works. And as I said, the entire endocrine system is involved, and it's just I can go on. In fact, I will. Not in this video though, because it's been long enough as it is. And Clyde Banks has just ignored me the whole time, haven't you? Hello, bro. Come on, you're gonna say hi. Hello. Come on, Clyde Banks. You can go. Bro. Right. Manifest Nation. Hi, Banks. Annoyed. Much love. Vest. Manifest. Ow.